Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but life seems stuck? That money slips through your fingers, doors don't open, and no matter how much you pray, nothing changes. Well, what you're about to discover could be the turning point you've been missing in your life. There's a simple law, so simple that most people ignore it, that can completely transform the way you attract prosperity, opportunities, and miracles. It's the principle Florence Scovel Shinn'S used to teach ordinary people how to receive the impossible. And yes, when you understand and apply this law, the universe begins to obey you. In the next few minutes, you'll discover why so many of your requests have gone unanswered and what needs to change so that money, love, and answers start flowing to you. Get ready, because this secret isn't theory, it's living practice. It's the key that makes the invisible move in your favor. You'll learn how to ask in a way the universe understands, how to keep your mind vibrating at the right frequency, and how to activate the power that's already within you, but that no one has taught you how to use. So before any distractions, take a deep breath and pay attention, because from now on, you'll no longer wait for miracles. You'll order them. And when you finish this video, you'll understand why some people get everything they ask for, and others spend their entire lives waiting. Now you understand why so many struggle their entire lives and remain in the same place, and why starting today, you'll start seeing results. What you just heard has real power to change your financial, spiritual, and emotional destiny. When a truth like this sinks in, nothing is ever the same again. And that's why people who receive this kind of teaching completely transform the way they live, think, and prosper. Show gratitude for what you've learned. Like and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving content that activates the power of action and faith. Each video here was made to bring you closer to the prosperous life you deserve. Do you know why so many people ask, pray, make promises, and still remain stuck in life? Because most don't know how to ask. It seems simple, but therein lies the error that hinders many people's prosperity. People ask with fear, with doubt, with a heavy heart, thinking they're speaking to God, but in reality, they're repeating to the universe how desperate they are. And the universe, which only understands vibration, returns exactly that. More scarcity, more blockage, more waiting. Florence Scovel Shinn'S said that every word is a seed we plant in the field of reality. So, when you speak with uncertainty, it's as if you're saying, I don't know if I deserve it. And the universe responds, okay, then you won't receive it. But what happens when you speak with faith, with authority, with the conviction that what you asked for is already yours? The story changes completely, because asking isn't begging, it's affirming. It's declaring that what you want already exists and is coming to you. And here's the detail that almost no one understands. The power is in the as you ask, not in what you ask. Many people ask for money, but they ask as if they were begging for alms. And then the universe doesn't obey. Florence said that you need to speak to life, as if giving a loving command, not as if begging for mercy. You speak firmly, respectfully, but with certainty, as if you know you have a right. And this is what separates those who manifest miracles every day from those who spend years asking and never see results. Think about it. When you order at a restaurant, you don't keep repeating it to the waiter, afraid he'll forget, right? You trust that the order was taken and will arrive. Now imagine if every 2 minutes you called the waiter to ask, are you sure my dish is coming? I think he forgot me. What would happen? At the very least, you'd be embarrassed, and the waiter would lose his temper. It's the same with the universe. When you order and then immediately despair, doubt, and complain, it's like canceling the order and starting over. And most people do this without realizing it. You wake up confident, but by afternoon you're already saying that nothing is working, that you'll never make it, and that's it. The universe understands you've given up. The truth is that asking the right way takes courage. Courage to believe without seeing. Courage to not be fooled by appearances. Because when you ask with faith, the surrounding scenario may still look the same. The bills keep coming, the problem is still there, but inside something changes. It's as if an invisible force begins to move in your favor. And do you know why? Because you've stopped being a victim of circumstances and become a creator of your own reality. Florence taught that the game of life is mental, and that the first step to winning is learning to play with words. When you say, I can, money obeys me, you are activating A code that opens doors where before there were only walls. And it's amazing how things change when you change the way you speak. Suddenly, opportunities begin to appear. The right people cross your path, and even things that seemed lost begin to reorganize themselves. It's no coincidence, it's a vibration. It's a reflection of your new attitude. So the next time you ask for something, be it a new job, more clients, healing, or inner peace, stop and ask yourself, am I asking with faith or fear? This is the question that separates those who receive from those who just wait. And look, it's worth writing this phrase in the comments to make it stick in your mind. I ask in faith, not in fear. Write it down, because when you declare it, you reinforce in your subconscious that you are already changing the way you act. And maybe now you're thinking, but what if I've asked several times and nothing has happened? The answer is simple. Maybe you asked the wrong way. Maybe you said the right words but with the wrong energy. And the universe doesn't respond to words, it responds to the emotion behind them. Florence called this the spoken faith, the one that comes out of your mouth with feeling. It's not repeating pretty phrases, it's feeling each word as truth. When you say, all that is mine by divine right, come to me now, it's not just a mantra, it's an order, a confirmation that your request has been granted. And when you say it like that, with this certainty, the universe moves. Now understand something important. The power of asking correctly isn't just for getting money, it's for everything. It's for health, for relationships, for resolving conflicts, for opening paths where there seem to be no way out. Because asking correctly activates the energy of creation within you, and this energy doesn't depend on time, circumstances, or luck. It depends on your consciousness. When you understand this, life stops being a sequence of failed attempts and becomes a sequence of responses. You begin to realize that nothing is by chance, that everything responds to your vibration, and that's why Florence said, nothing is too great for those who know how to ask. Because the universe doesn't measure effort, it measures certainty, and those who ask with faith receive. It may take a while, it may come unexpectedly, but it comes. It always comes, because what is yours by divine right is already reserved, just waiting for your command. And, believe me, once you learn to ask the right way, you'll never go back to asking the same way again. But there's something even more powerful than knowing how to ask. Something that makes all the difference between those who believe and those who truly express it. Something Florence called the proof of living faith, and that's what we'll discover next. Faith is the turning point, and this is where many people stumble, because it's easy to say, I believe, but deep down remain afraid of failure. Florence Scovel Shinn'S said that doubt is the greatest thief of blessings, and she was right. How many times have you asked for something, but a voice inside your head whispered, will it really happen? That voice is fear, and it is the invisible saboteur of your requests. True faith isn't feeling like everything will work out when everything is fine. It's maintaining trust when everything seems to be falling apart. It's looking at reality and saying, it may seem impossible, but I know it's already done. This is the faith that moves the impossible. But there's a trap almost everyone falls into, thinking that having faith means not feeling fear. But that's not the case. Having faith is choosing to believe even when fear screams. It's acting as if you've already received it, even without seeing anything yet. It's continuing to speak words of power when your mind wants to complain. And do you know what happens when you do this? Fear loses its power. It even tries to return, but you've learned to firmly respond, no, that's already been resolved. And that's when the universe understands you're ready to receive. Florence said that fear is a form of faith, just in the wrong direction. Those who fear believe something bad will happen, and the universe, obediently, delivers exactly that. The good news is that you can change the direction of your faith at any time, and that's why what you say has so much power. Your words aren't just sounds, they're commands. Every sentence that comes out of your mouth is an order that the universe fulfills without question. And this is where one of the greatest secrets of Florence's teachings comes in, the alignment between what you say and what you think. Most people say they believe, but spend the whole day complaining. They talk about faith in the morning and lack of it in the afternoon. They pray for prosperity, but keep saying that money is hard to come by. And they don't realize they're nullifying their own request. The universe doesn't understand contradiction. It understands frequency. And if your speech and your thoughts vibrate in different directions, nothing happens. It's like trying to drive a car by accelerating and braking at the same time. So, the first exercise you need to do is watch your words. Everything you say is a seed you're planting in your life. Talk about scarcity. You reap scarcity. Talk about blessing. You reap blessing. Florence said that the word is your magic wand. And it's not a metaphor. It's literal. Every time you say, I can do it, everything works out for me. You're programming your subconscious to act according to this truth. Now, when you keep saying nothing works out, I never have any luck, it's hard for me, your subconscious understands this as an order and begins working to prove you right. This is why some people seem to live in an endless cycle of problems. They talk, think, and vibrate about it all the time. Transformation begins when you decide to monitor what comes out of your mouth. And it's not about being fanatical or perfectionist, it's about being conscious. When you notice a negative word slipping out, correct it immediately. Replace "it can't work" with "it'll work out." Replace "it's hard" with "it's in progress." Replace "I'm broke" with "prosperity is on the way." This isn't deceiving reality, it's teaching your subconscious to change its frequency, and the subconscious is the direct channel to the universe. Florence said that the mind is the field where you plant everything you reap. So start planting words of power, not defeat. Now you might be thinking, but is that just positive talk? No, it's about aligning words with feelings. There's no point repeating pretty phrases if you still doubt deep down. That's why faith and words go hand in hand. The word is what you release, faith is what sustains it. One without the other creates nothing. When you say, I've already received it, but feel anxiety and fear, your energy gets stuck. But when you speak and feel it as someone who's already experienced it, reality begins to shift. It's a change that happens from the inside out. And the curious thing is that you'll notice subtle signs. People who owe you money starting to reach out, doors that were previously closed opening, situations that seemed hopeless starting to resolve themselves. And that's where the magic happens. Or rather, the law begins to work. Florence said that the game of life is a game of words and faith, and that those who learn to combine these two forces create results that the world calls miracles. So, start observing now. What have you been saying about yourself? About your life, your money, your health? All of this is creating your tomorrow. And to reinforce this new cycle, write the word here in the comments. Can. Because that's what you're activating now. The power to transform your reality with what you say and believe. But there's an even deeper step to making all of this a reality, one that will completely change how you expect and attract what you've asked for. That's what we'll talk about next. Once you learn how to ask the right way and align your words with your faith, comes one of the most challenging parts, wait with confidence. And this is where many people miss the miracle, because most even ask with faith, but then don't know how to wait. Anxiety begins to take over, fear returns, and the person begins to doubt. Florence Scovel Shinn'S said that expectation is the magnet for miracles, and that's exactly it. What you hope for with an open heart, the universe delivers, but what you fear, the universe also confirms. That's why sometimes it seems like the more you want something, the further it gets away. It's not punishment, it's misaligned energy. You're not waiting with faith, you're waiting with fear. Positive expectation is one of the most powerful forces in existence. It's like a signal you send to the universe saying, I know it's coming, and I'm ready to receive it. When you live with this trust, things flow naturally. It's as if life begins to organize itself to deliver what you asked for. People appear out of nowhere, doors open, coincidences happen, and you begin to realize that God's timing is perfect. But when you doubt, complain, or constantly watch the clock, you're essentially saying, I don't believe it's going to happen. And the universe obediently responds, then it won't. How many times have you done this without realizing it? You asked for an opportunity but soon after thought, oh, no one will call me anyway. Or you asked for prosperity but keep saying, nothing works for me. This is like planting a seed and the next day digging it up to see if it grew. You kill the process. Florence said that after asking, your job is simply to stay in tune. This means stop looking at what's missing and start acting like someone who already has. Give thanks before you see, speak like someone who has already received, and walk like someone who has already achieved. This is the attitude of someone who manifests, and I know it's not easy. The mind loves to create scenarios of doubt. It will remind you of the times you tried and failed. It will show you reasons to believe it won't happen now. But that's precisely when you need to hold on tight, because it's in this moment of apparent silence that the universe is reorganizing itself. It's like when you place an order online. Just because the product hasn't arrived yet doesn't mean it hasn't been shipped. It's on its way. And the time between ordering and receiving is the time that measures your faith. It's the phase in which the invisible begins to materialize. Florence called this the invisible bridge of faith, that crossing where you don't yet see the result, but you keep walking because you know you'll reach the other side. And the most beautiful thing is realizing that when you choose to wait with joy, time passes differently. Instead of suffering, it becomes confidence. Instead of anxiety, it becomes certainty. You begin to notice small signs that you're on the right path, a sign, a conversation, an unexpected encounter. These are all subtle responses, reminders that the universe is working behind the scenes. And when you vibrate with this positive expectation, you attract more reasons to be happy. Because like energy attracts like energy. Florence said that joy is the compass of miracles, and this is true. When you vibrate with joy, the universe understands that you are ready to receive good things, and it's important to understand that waiting with faith doesn't mean standing still. It means continuing to act, but with ease. It means doing what's within your reach, while trusting in what doesn't yet depend on you. It means keeping your mind occupied with what elevates, not with what worries. This changes everything, because when you act calmly, you show that you believe, and when you believe, things move. It's not magic, it's the law. And look, if there's one thing that hinders a miracle, it's haste. Haste is a disguise for doubt. It's the desire to control God's timing. But divine timing doesn't fail. It simply respects your preparation. Sometimes you haven't received something yet because you haven't yet become capable of sustaining what you asked for. And this isn't punishment, it's protection. Florence said, delay isn't denial, it's preparation. So when things seem slow, instead of complaining, ask, what do I still need to learn before I receive? This simple shift in thinking takes you out of anxiety and puts you in power. Write the word in the comments, trust, to establish this truth within you, because that's what will sustain you when everything seems to stand still. Trust isn't a feeling, it's a decision. It's choosing to believe even when you can't see. And believe me, when you learn to wait with faith, everything that is yours by divine right finds its way to you. But there's an even more powerful secret that speeds up this process, a simple action that completely shifts the frequency of your life and makes what you've asked for come even faster. And that's what we'll talk about next. Between the moment you ask and the moment you receive, there's a gap, and that's where many people give up. Florence Scovel Shinn'S said this is the time of testing. It's the moment when the universe observes whether you truly believe what you asked for, or if it was all just an emotional impulse. And the truth is harsh. Most people don't pass this test because they ask believing on the first day, but by the second, they're already saying that nothing changes, that God has forgotten, that the miracle won't come. It's in this space, between the request and the answer, that faith is truly measured. And that's why Florence spoke so much about divine timing, the one that never fails, but also never rushes. This waiting time, which so many call delay, is actually the period in which the invisible is being organized so that the visible happens. And even though you don't see anything happening, something is moving behind what meets the eye. It's like planting a seed. You don't keep digging in the ground to check if it's sprouting. You trust the process. But when it comes to life, people forget this. They want immediate results, ignoring that the universe works at a pace that isn't one of haste, it's one of perfection. The biggest mistake is to interpret silence as abandonment. Just because God is silent doesn't mean he isn't acting. Sometimes it's precisely in silence that he works most. Florence said that the time between the request and the miracle is a spiritual training ground. It's there that patience is strengthened, character matures, and fear is purified. And when you understand this, time stops being an enemy and becomes an ally. because you begin to realize that each passing day is preparing you to endure what's coming. How many times have you asked for something and after a while realized that if you had received it sooner, you might not have been ready to handle it? It happens to everyone. Sometimes the universe delays to protect you, to ensure that when the miracle arrives, it doesn't go to waste. Florence explained that the delay is just the universe's way of aligning the pieces. Nothing is lost, nothing is in vain. What is yours is being polished, and the more you resist time, the longer the process takes. But when you surrender and trust, the flow naturally accelerates. This is why spiritual patience isn't passivity, it's wisdom. It's when you understand that what's taking time is being prepared at the right time. It's during this period that you need to take care of your mind, your vibration, and your words. Impatience breeds resistance, and resistance blocks manifestation. But when you relax and think everything's under control, something inside you aligns. It's as if the universe says, now, it's ready. And then things start to happen, sometimes in such subtle and unexpected ways that you barely realize where the solution came from. This is the secret. Stop fighting against time and start walking with it. Instead of complaining that it's taking too long, use this time to prepare. Improve your thinking, strengthen your faith, and clear away what still holds you back from fear. Florence said that when the student is ready, the master appears, and the same goes for miracles. When you become emotionally prepared, the blessing comes effortlessly. It's the law. So the next time you feel like the miracle is taking a while, change the question. Instead of, why isn't it happening? Ask, what do I still need to learn from this silence? This changes everything, because you move from the victim position to the one being molded. And the more you grow internally, the faster the results manifest externally. Now, do yourself a favor. Write the word here in the comments, patient. Not as someone who's waiting for anything, but as someone who understands that they're being prepared for something much greater. This word will serve as a mental anchor whenever the fear of delay tries to discourage you. And that's precisely where the true power of gratitude comes in, the fuel that keeps your faith alive while the miracle is still on the way. Because there's a simple action that makes the universe quicken its pace, and that's what we'll talk about next. Most people think gratitude is something that comes after receiving a blessing, but Florence Scovel Shinn'S taught otherwise. She said gratitude is what does the blessing happens. It's the key that unlocks the doors of the invisible and transforms requests into results. And the curious thing is that almost no one practices this correctly, because being grateful for what you already have is easy, but being grateful for what hasn't yet arrived, as if it were already real, is what separates those who live for miracles from those who live waiting. Anticipatory gratitude is the most powerful sign of faith there is. When you say thank you before you see it, the universe understands, it already believes. And then, what was stagnant begins to move. Think about it. When someone gives you a gift and you thank them from the bottom of your heart, that person feels the urge to give you more, right? It's the same with the universe. Gratitude is an energy of reciprocity, a cycle that multiplies everything it touches. When you vibrate gratitude, you're saying, I trust, and trust creates space for more good things to come in. But when you constantly complain, lament, and talk about what's missing, it's like saying to the universe, I don't have it, I don't believe it, I doubt it, and it responds with more lack, more doubt, more waiting. Florence said, give thanks first, and you will receive later. And that changes everything. Gratitude has a power that goes far beyond words. It's not just saying thank you out of habit. It's feeling the thank you in your heart, as if the blessing were already in your hands. It's looking at a bill and being grateful for the opportunity to pay it. It's looking at a challenge and being grateful because it's teaching you something. It's looking in the mirror and being grateful for the strength that's still there within, even when everything seems difficult. This is the energy that changes the game, because when you shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have, your vibration instantly shifts. And because the universe responds to vibration, not empty words, everything begins to align. And don't think it's just a spiritual thing, it's practical too. When you constantly complain, your brain goes into scarcity mode, blinding you to opportunities. But when you start being grateful, your brain activates a different mindset, abundance. You start to see solutions where you previously saw problems. It's as if gratitude clears the way. Florence explained, that gratitude is the mental state of those who have already won the game of life. Those who are grateful celebrate victory, and those who celebrate victory attract more victories. A simple exercise that transforms. Every day, when you wake up, say out loud 3 things you're grateful for, and 3 more that you still want, but will be grateful for as if you already had them. For example, I'm grateful for the money that comes in easily. I'm grateful for the peace in my home. I'm grateful for the opportunities that are now arriving. Do this even if it feels strange at first, because it's precisely this practice that trains your mind to believe before you see. And when you believe beforehand, the miracle has a clear path to happen. Maybe your life is difficult today and you're thinking, but why be grateful if nothing is going right? The answer is simple, because that's how everything starts to work out. Gratitude is the bridge that takes you from scarcity to abundance. It's the act that shifts your energy from victim to creator. Florence said, the grateful person is always receiving, and it's true. Those who give thanks keep the channel open. Even when nothing happens, the grateful person knows something is being prepared. They don't need to see it to believe it, because they already feel that the best is coming. And a powerful thing happens when you live in this state of gratitude. Life begins to surprise you. Small things you didn't even remember asking for begin to manifest. People show up with unexpected offers, debts are resolved, doors open, and all this without forced effort, just because you replaced, "Why is this happening to me?" with, "Thank you, because this will lead me to something better." Gratitude changes the lens through which you see the world, and when the lens changes, reality changes too. Write the word in the comments, thanks. This is the password to unlock the flow of prosperity. When you write, you confirm to yourself that you will. Choose gratitude every day, even when your mind tries to pull you back to fear. Make it a habit, giving thanks before, during, and after. And now that you understand the power of gratitude, it's time to take the next step, the most important of all, because there's a point at which gratitude turns into action, and that's when you stop just waiting for the miracle and start becoming the miracle in motion. That's what comes next. There comes a time when you understand that it is not enough to ask. Believe, hope, and be thankful. You have to become the very channel of miracles. Florence Scovel Shinn'S said that true power lies in acting like one who has already received, in living like one who is already blessed, and that's exactly where many people get stuck, because it's easier said than done. But the ultimate secret lies in this. It's no longer about waiting for something to happen. It's about becoming the person who naturally attracts everything you've asked for. When you behave like someone who already has prosperity, health, love, and peace, the universe understands that you're ready to deliver. And the most interesting thing is that this has nothing to do with pretending. It's not about fooling yourself. It's about vibrating with what you want. For example, do you want to prosper? Then stop acting like someone in need. Prosperous people don't talk about lack, don't complain, and don't dwell on what others have. They talk about growth, opportunities, and gratitude. Do you want love? Then don't go around saying everyone disappoints you. Speak like someone who already has someone who values you, even if they haven't shown up yet. Do you want peace? Stop fueling confusion. It's simple. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Florence said that faith without action is dead faith, because those who truly believe act according to their beliefs. And that changes everything, because from that point on, you stop being a spiritual beggar and become a co-creator. You don't beg God to solve things, you walk with Him, acting with wisdom, courage, and confidence. Words stop being just prayers and become actions, and it's in these daily actions that miracles happen. When you choose to think positively, even when faced with a problem, you're showing that you're mastering the game. When you help someone even when you're low on money, you're proving that you believe in abundance. When you get up after a difficult day and still smile, you're saying to the universe, "Nothing shakes me, I continue on my purpose." This transformation is silent but powerful. You begin to realize that you no longer depend on luck, because you become the source of blessings. The energy shifts. People notice. Doors open naturally. And you know what's most curious? The things you once sought begin to seek you out. Florence said that the man who walks in faith attracts everything he needs without chasing it. And it's true. When you align internally, the external world organizes itself. It's as if the universe says, now it understands, now I can give it all. And this state of consciousness isn't something you achieve once and for all. It's a daily practice. Every day, you choose which energy you'll sustain, fear or certainty. And the more you choose certainty, the more natural it becomes. You begin to speak differently, walk differently, think differently. It's a new identity emerging, a version of you that doesn't doubt its own power. Florence said, "Your word is your wand, but you are the one holding the wand." In other words, the power has always been within you. It's just been dormant. So, from today on, act like someone who has already won. Not because you're fooling yourself, but because you're preparing to receive what you asked for. Those who live with faith don't wait to celebrate later. They celebrate first. And it's this celebratory energy that makes the universe accelerate what was stagnant. So, every time you wake up, say to yourself, "Today I act like someone who has already received," and watch how your life begins to change. Now you understand why so many things in your life seemed stuck and suddenly started to make sense. What you learned today isn't just theory. It's living practice, the power to transform thought into reality. You've discovered how to ask, believe, hope, and act the right way, and it's already changed something inside you. You can feel it, can't you? That feeling that now things will move forward. This knowledge didn't come by chance. It came to you because it was the right time to awaken to a new phase in your life. And when something changes within a person, it spreads. That's how the world improves. One awakens, and then another. So if this content touched you in any way, show your gratitude now. Like and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving teachings that move you forward. Each new video here is designed to expand on what began today and take you even deeper on this path of prosperity and manifestation. Write the word in the comments "miracle" to seal what has been activated in you now. This word is the confirmation that you are ready to experience everything you asked for, and prepare your heart, because the next video will reveal the step that makes the universe respond even faster. And once you understand this, nothing in your life will remain the same.